Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video I'm going to install some sights on my Glock 17 and I'm going to use the NC Star sight press. And this is the case right here that it comes with. Nice little padded case to store everything in it. It's a real simple press. It runs about $40 to $50 on Amazon. I'll put a link in the video description below. But it's made of aluminum, so it's not the most robust thing out there, but for the cost and for the function it seems to work pretty well. It's got a few little spacers in here. I'll show you what those are for here in just a moment. Let me get that out of the way. So basically you're going to put the slide in here and then you're going to manipulate, drift your sight out. What we're going to do is we're going to point the muzzle away from us and then we're going to do some adjusting here. So going to center this here, and you notice these dovetails right here. This is going to clamp the slide on the sides, and the kit comes with an angled dovetail like this. You can kind of see how that is. So our slide on the Glock is flat, so this is not the one we want because we don't need that little ridge right there. We're going to use a flat one to clamp the slide in place. So I'll just slide these in. And these are just a polymer, so it doesn't mar up the finish of your gun. So now we got those in place. These are going to hold it sideways. This is actually going to drift our sight. And then this one here is going to clamp the top down. So once you get enough space in there, then we can put our slide in place. I got the tack rack on there, causing me some issues getting it in. Alright, so here we go. And we're going to center this, the press that goes sideways, into center with the rear sight itself. So we want to make sure we're pushing, you know, the center of this on the center of that. So I'm going to kind of munge this around here for a second. And tighten up the side. Tighten up the side over here. And then I'm just going to tighten up the front here, and the front's going to keep the slide from falling down left and right. So here's our front, kind of pinches it down against this adjustable table. Now the table, you want to make sure the height of this is going to be just so it clears the top of the slide. So we can actually come down, I think, probably a little bit on the table. So you see how we have some clearance right there still? So I think we can come up on that table. So I'm going to loosen up the sides, loosen up the top, and then we'll adjust this to bring it up some. Like I said, we want to make sure we clear the slide so we don't scratch up the slide. So then we'll tighten up that side, tighten up the front, and we're just finger tightening this. So when I did the APX, this press comes with a nice little handle here. I couldn't get enough leverage on it. It looks like it's a 15 millimeter right here, so if you had a 15 millimeter wrench you could put that on there. I didn't have one, so I ended up using a crescent wrench to do it. Hopefully the Glocks are a lot easier supposedly to push out the rear sight, so this should be a whole lot easier than the APX. And now most sights are going to drift out one way and then go back in that way as well. So if we're drifting it out to the left, it's going to drift back into the right. And a Glock, from what I understand, you can go either way on it. So I'm just going to hold this in my hand. The tool itself can actually be mounted to your bench, but I'm not going to put this up as a permanent thing because I don't see it being used all that often. So we'll just kind of hand crank this and we should be able to drift that polymer sight out. This is a whole lot easier than the Beretta was. Alright, so there's our little polymer rear sight. Yeah, this is going a little bit further than when I first started. So I think I'm ready to try it in the press. I'm going to leave it just like this. And set our press, slip the slide in. And if you're wondering why I'm slipping it in from the backside, from the front, you see the arrow muzzle that way. It's because with this front piece on the Glock, you can't really get it through there without adjusting everything out of whack. So I'm coming in through the backside, which is still a little awkward. Let's see if I can get that. So remember, adjust your slide to where it's sitting centered over this screw right there. So right now I'm kind of off to the left, so I'm going to loosen up this, screw this one in. That's pretty close. And then we check to see that the press that's pressing the sight left or right is gonna centered. And it is. It's centered over the dovetail. And these holes on the side are a witness mark, so you can actually look through there and tell if the little press, the sight pusher, is going to clear the slide or not. So make sure it's nice and flat, sitting level on that adjustment table. Then we'll tighten this up and tighten them all up. And then we'll start to see if we can get that sucker to drift in. When I did the APX, the whole top part would bow and the screw right across here was bending. And the gunsmith I took it to said, yeah, he's broken a few sight tools as well trying to install sights. So it's going pretty easy. I mean, I'm not turning very difficult or turning this thing very hard. It's turning relatively easy. I mean, it's going in tighter than that plastic one was when it came out. So I'm going to center that as best I can. And ideally you would put Loctite on this, but I'm going to run with this for a little while, see how I like them before I go that far. It looks good. Now I'm going to adjust this, or loosen up the side. So at this point I'm going to reduce the table here so I can get my sight out. And the tack rack is in the way again. Alright. So here we go. That's pretty much centered. And then with this sight we have a set screw right here that you would tighten up. And so this kind of digs in to the top of the slide. For 40 to 50 bucks, it's not a bad tool to have in your gunsmith stuff in case, especially if you're going to be doing sights on a regular basis. Like I said, unfortunately, when I put these on here, it did not handle it. But you know, a caveat to that was the gunsmith also said he had broken some of his presses as well, and I'm sure he's using much more stouter stuff than this little device here. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video.